Hello and welcome to the 2017 GSAC Mystery Tournament. I am Ben. Joining with me today is none other than DDRChamp himself. How you doing, Andrew?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Um,
Good to hear.
we have a great match today. Two amazing players playing, and none other than Karnov. This is going to be an amazing match. So let's get right into it. Are both players ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you can begin in three, two, one, go. All right, and they are off. This is going to be an amazing match. I picked, so a little bit background behind this game, Andrew. I picked a particularly difficult game for them because I know both of these players have lots of experience in gaming and in competitive gaming. So I thought it'd be a fun match.
Oh, looks like Bemusicality might be having some difficulties since he hasn't moved on my screen, at least.
He's moving on mine. So you might need to
Perhaps
refresh or
the
something.
stream is... Yes. Alright.
But yeah, so this is a action platforming game and is kind of janky in all respects, and the enemies
There
are
we go.
just brutal and can kill you really fast.
Alright, well, it should make for some good watching.
So just so everybody at home knows, our runners are currently racing to defeat level 3. That is their goal. And honestly, like, if you were a perfect player, you could probably do that in like 5 minutes. But I think it's going to be challenging just because the enemies are so tough and it's really hard to dodge them in this game. So I had a lot of trouble just getting through stage 1. So this will be a fun game. Frustrating one for our players for sure. So what's your initial impression here, Andrew? What do you think?
Yeah, it certainly looks like a difficult game. Trying to figure out how the lives work, I guess. Do you have a set number of lives or a set number of health or something like that? Do you know how that works?
Yeah, I think once you get hit, I think your guy turns like gray or blue, like it just did on
Oh, okay.
Brody's, and then if you get hit again, you die, and that's it. And then I think after a few deaths, you have a game over. I'm not sure how many. I think maybe 3. And
Okay, it looks like it shows how many lives you have on your death screen.
Oh, good.
So,
But so there is a checkpoint mid-level, but then when you game over, you get taken all the way back to the beginning of the level again. And honestly, we're gonna game over a lot on this one.
oh, absolutely.
So
Does not look very forgiving.
no, and it's just really difficult to dodge things, which is. It seems like kind of weird why that would be, but the enemies just attack very fast, like as soon as they enter the screen. So it's really hard to kind of kill them before they attack you.
Looks like Thomas forgot he's not playing as Jesus because he tried to walk on that water and it did not go well.
Yep. And here we actually see Brody has a power up. So the power up system in this game, and you can see it with their sort of bar and like on the lower part of their screen. I don't really know how it works or how to use it at all. So I'm sure it makes the game a lot easier, but well, I don't think either of our players are gonna figure it out. Or at least I hope they don't, because then I'd feel better about myself. I watched someone actually knew what they were doing play this game, and they would just like drop ladders and like climb up to get these awesome upgrades, and then like drop bombs. And I'm like, I don't even know how to use a ladder. So
Yeah, it looks like that upgrade Thomas has looks pretty useful. Firing 3 shots at once. It looks like he had bad luck there, but it looks like you can fire through boulders and just destroy them.
yeah.
But it looked like he walked into that one a little too quickly.
And there's also a bunch of these like Ks around. I guess for Karnov, which is the game we're
Yeah,
playing.
I see that.
But I don't know what they do. So I don't think there's any real gain to them.
No, hopefully neither player gets too caught up in those. I think they'll probably figure out pretty quickly that it's It's not worth your time.
So since this game is so demanding, I think whenever someone advances to the next stage, that's where you spawn when you game over. So advancing a stage at all in this game is really valuable and can provide a really big lead.
This looks like a tough game, but there's a definite learning curve. It already looks like the players are starting to get a hang of the enemy mechanics a little bit more, and yeah, moving through a little better than they were in the beginning.
Oh, and actually Brody's at the boss here, I think, which is really tough. And once again, just 2 shots you. And Thomas got there as well, although he died fast.
Hopefully neither player accidentally selects game over at the, so I feel like I would do that. At the game over screen, just mash enter and accidentally quit out.
But yeah, I think you kind of see it just watching him, but like the jumping, how you jump in this game is just like, he jumps up kind of fast and then sort of floats down. But because of that, it sort of like wrecks what you think's gonna happen.
Yeah, it definitely does not look like a normal jump mechanic.
By the way, I don't know if Thomas has figured this out or if he's just sort of accidentally done it, but the red orbs around the screen are power-ups, and the blue orbs give you your health back. So Thomas has. Oh, okay. I think he's done it twice now. He's gone right to a place where there's been an attack power up, so he knows where it spawns. That'll give him.
Oh, that could definitely give him. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this is one of the hardest games. Well, it's sort of like weirdly hard. Like, nothing about the controls are hard. You know, jump is jump, shoot is shoot. It's super easy to pick up in that way. But the game is really unforgiving, really difficult, and I thought that'd be a good game to give these players because it'll really highlight the skill of both of them.
Absolutely, and it seems like the players are kind of figuring out that the best approach to take, just from watching, in my opinion, is I know it's a speed run, but slow and steady. Just don't get hit. Because if you try to barrel ahead and you keep getting hit, you're just not going to progress at all. And it looks like they're not taking much damage on normal enemies now, but it's still going to take a while for them to figure that boss out, I imagine.
Yep. And I think when I did it, just sort of spamming the boss as fast as possible and just sort of taking the damage is how I beat it. But I'm sure there's you know, a more efficient way that's not so luck based. Because I'm sure I got lucky.
Right.
Oh, Brody actually just put down a ladder. I don't know if he did that on purpose or... Oh, he put down a bomb.
I would guess no, but who knows. Ooh.
Oh, what is that? He's got something in his hand. I don't even know what that is. Oh, I think it's a shield, actually.
Ooh, it looks like Thomas has cleared the first boss.
There he goes. So
that power-up was huge. Just melted him.
So, as our players progress through the stages here, they do get more and more difficult, like, a lot. Like, those 3 guys there at just the beginning of Thomas's screen, I just could not beat them without taking any damage. It was just, I found it so frustrating.
Right.
Oh, did he hit game over? Yeah, he did. He definitely
looks like he did.
He hit, like, quick game or whatever.
And that would absolutely happen to me if I was playing, so I'm fortunate that my game did not have this option. Yeah. Or at the very least, I didn't have to deal with it as much. It seems like in this game you get a game over once every 2 minutes, just because of the difficulty.
Yep. Oh my god, Thomas's power-ups, though, are just insane. I don't know how he keeps finding them.
Yeah, he seems very conscious of any power-up orbs. He deliberately goes back and gets them, so he definitely has that figured out. It does seem like the one he has now is very powerful. Just stand back a little bit and spam it. You can melt anything before it gets to you. We'll see how it translates to the boss.
I mean, he should be hitting the boss 3 times because the boss is so tall,
Took a little damage there.
Yeah. We'll see if you can spam it out. Oh, not quite.
Not quite.
So, Andrew, you know both of these players. Can you tell me a little bit about their sort of gaming history, what they like to play, if you think they'd be good at a game like this?
Yeah, well, I know they both have gaming experience, so I think they'll both be adequate. I'm not sure exactly what most of them play most of the time. I think Brody has played a lot of various, maybe older games, but I'm not sure how much platforming either of these guys have done. I know Thomas plays a lot of World of Warcraft, Diablo, League of Legends, used to play Smite, things like that. But a lot of those games don't translate into platforming skill. So I imagine both of these guys have some experience with platformers. I'm just not sure how much.
Yeah, I know Brody, who's Bemusicality on the left. He used to stream Super Mario Sunshine, I think.
Yes.
So
yeah.
he's had some experience both on controller and sort of with platforming things, although that was in 3D. And I think Thomas does like fighting games competitively. I think he has like a fighting game controller. So they both
I believe he does
are
play
good
fighting games.
with like competition. They're veterans, I guess.
Yeah, so that's worth pointing out. I guess Brody actually has some experience speedrunning.
Yes.
So he might be the only one out of the group that speedrun anything.
Mm-hmm. And he was actually when I thought about doing this tournament, he was one of the first people I talked to, just because I knew he had some sort of experience in this.
Yeah, so I know he's going to HGDQ
Oh yeah,
in DC, the Awesome Games done.
Yeah.
So he's no stranger to speedrunning, but I believe he is a stranger to this game.
Yeah,
and that might be the
I think everybody's going to be a stranger
Thomas
to this one. When I picked this game out,
Thomas because he's still on the first level, even though he got past it.
Yeah. When I pick this game out, like some games, when I pick them out, I think they're gonna be fun or the title sounds interesting, like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. But other times, I'm just like, I'm gonna pick the most obscure thing I can find, and this is what I found. Karnov. Apparently, this is like the watered down U.S. version. Apparently there's like a Russian version, but it was like watered down because it had like some like weird like religious tones or something. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it definitely seems like an interesting pick. We'll see. See how these players do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're playing fairly well. It's just a very difficult game.
Yep.
It seems like they're starting to get the hang of it. Thomas might have this here. There we go. He's back to stage 2, and I don't think he'll repeat his mistake.
Let's hope not.
I think next time he will keep an eye on the game over menu. Hopefully he realizes he made a mistake and doesn't think that you just have to start back at stage 1.
And he has his power-ups still, so that could... Oh, nope. I was going to say that could provide him a good boost here going into stage 2.
Yeah, I think his understanding of the power-up system should help him out, though. I mean, he definitely knows to go back and get those orbs. I'm not sure if Brody has been getting them or not. Oh, looks like Brody's on to stage 2.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have a tight match here.
We do. And I don't know if Brody's gone back to figuring out how those bombs and stuff work. I'm sure there's value to be had there, but it doesn't seem like he's been experimenting with it all that much.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time I'd put into it. If you could figure it out, it, like you said, it certainly adds value, but it's a question of value versus time.
Mm-hmm. On
it seems like they may even be difficult to use even if you knew what you were doing, so it might just be better for just the first 3-level speedrun to just barrel through.
On Thomas's screen here, he's gonna meet some of the first like flying enemies in the game that are like really just difficult. They literally just swoop in and just shoot you or like hit you, and there's very little reaction time. You have to jump over them, which is kind of difficult. But he's pretty close to wherever the checkpoint is on this one. So hopefully he can get that and get some real progress done.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing very well. I mean, he's already beaten the first level twice, and he's handling the second level pretty well. I would say right now it seems like he has a bit of an advantage, but certainly nothing that Brody couldn't catch up to.
Yeah. And this is kind of a weird place on Thomas's screen. If you get the checkpoint here, it'll take you to like the physical location of the checkpoint, even if you weren't there. Like if you went above the checkpoint, it'll still register, like on a different path. So sometimes you spawn where you don't know where you are. I mean, I think both of our players know go to the right, but
right,
it can be somewhat disorienting.
Absolutely. So it looks like Brody's really taking a slow and steady approach, really trying to not get hit by those enemies, whereas Thomas is playing a little more aggressively, but he's playing very well, so it seems he's doing alright as well.
Yeah, I mean, I applaud Brody for getting through this whole section without taking a hit so far. It's way difficult, and I've had a really hard time doing it.
Right. I mean, I noticed there is a health up, back there. So if you take one hit, if it saves you some time. Yeah. There's the flying enemies you were talking about. Yeah. But if you take one hit to save yourself some time, it's not the worst thing in the world. But obviously, if you take two, then you get to start over again. So.
I'm not quite sure what this gold guy does on Thomas's screen.
Yeah, it looks like your best bet's just to try to not get hit by him and move on.
Oh, and actually on Brody's screen here, he crossed the checkpoint up above, and so spawned down here in this area he's not familiar with.
It looks like they're neck and neck, really. Very close.
It's gonna be hard on this boss, though. This boss, just like the last one, is very difficult, and you have to be kind of lucky. Oh, I think Thomas might actually die.
Power-ups prevail. It looks like Thomas melted him. So he came in with full health. So he didn't have to figure anything out. He just took a hit and just
those
blasted him.
Invincibility frames really helped him out there.
Absolutely. And again, the power-up he had.
This part's actually really funny where Thomas is at. There's no indication that you can climb trees in this game, but you can. And you had to do it to cross this gap.
Alright, well maybe this is a potential comeback.
I think he'll figure it. He has to climb the big one.
How do you climb it? Do you just go there and hit up? Or?
Yeah, you just jump on it, and there's like a platform. Yeah, it's just really weird, and then he's gonna float down like a weirdo. But this stage 3 is really difficult, and I think I didn't beat it when I played tested. I got really close, and I had probably put in close to half an hour, and I was just like, well, they'll do it. They won't mess up like I did. But that could be.
You have faith in your runners. Looks like Thomas is really on a roll at this point. He seems to be picking up on the game very quickly.
I think Brody's right at the boss here, just about. But he's only half health. Nope, not quite.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna beat that boss at half health, especially not your first try.
I freaking hated these boulder guys on Thomas's screen. There's a few of them, and they're just annoying. Like a lot.
Yeah, they're throwing the boulder down the stairs at you. It's so hard to get around or shoot it.
Oh, he's at the third boss. T-Rex. T-Rex is pretty difficult, but I think he can do it. As if he goes in there full health with a few power-ups, I think it's. I don't think.
Yeah, these power-ups have
necessarily
really
harder
been
than the other ones.
Really been a huge help. I'm not sure. Oh. So do you know if you game over, does it still just put you back to the checkpoint, or does it take you back to the beginning of the level?
It takes you back to the beginning of the level, so
okay.
You definitely want to, like, if you only have one life left and you haven't gotten to the checkpoint yet, I'd probably just take, a death.
Probably just suicide, yeah. Yeah.
Like you really want to have a few lives by the time you get to the checkpoint. This enemy on Thomas's screen
I
is like
think
the
it's
most
riding.
annoying thing. It makes it a hideous sound as well.
Ooh.
Right in the butt.
Yeah, those boulders down the stairs are pretty hard to jump around.
Yeah. Very unforgiving game. Just 2 hits and you're done. And with the jumping being so, you know, kind of inaccurate, it can really be frustrating.
So it looks like Thomas is taking this tunnel again.
It's pretty good climbing animations, though, I'd say.
Yeah, its graphics are ahead of their time.
This is a NES title for those watching later, in post, if you will. Thomas, that
Here's
T-Rex
the
again.
boss, but he only has 1 health.
He has to realize that.
Ooh.
So the T-Rex can actually only be hit in the head. So Thomas did no damage on that fight.
Ooh, okay. I might see. It looked like, I think he could tell he wasn't doing damage, or at least it looked like it to me as well.
Mhm.
But hopefully he figures out how to deal damage.
And that makes it pretty difficult because you have to jump and fire. And like I said, the jumping is pretty atrocious.
I would think a good power up might be able to help with that, like the
Oh, yeah.
triple shot or something.
There is I remember there being a pretty big power up pretty close to the boss. I think it's that high up there. I'm not quite sure how to get it. But I did get it in my run. So I'm sure that there's some sort of jumping, you know, way you can do it.
Oh, there we go. Looks like he at least hit the head and
Yeah.
hopefully saw it flash. So he should know to hit it in the head now. Actually, Thomas. Well, both players are playing pretty well, but Thomas is playing very well.
Mhm.
He certainly seems to have experience with this type of game.
Yeah.
He's picking up on things quickly, and he's very good at just the mechanics, dodging the enemies and things like that. I think he's gonna regret not taking that tunnel.
Oh, maybe he was looking for power-ups on the top path.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
I do believe it's impossible to go sort of left. Like once you go right. So
Oh, okay.
if you take the lower path, I don't think you can go backwards to get to the, to get something on the higher path again. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how it works.
That would make sense, yeah. Oh, is he alright to fall? So he's taking the tunnel again.
Brody's still struggling with these 3 enemies at the beginning of stage 2. They're very difficult.
They look difficult, yeah. Poor Thomas got surprised by that little guy there. Popped up and got him.
Oh my god, boomerang.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I must say again, Thomas's mechanics are very good. He's doing very well dodging the enemies and stuff like that.
Alright, he's got full health here on T-Rex.
I think he lost himself in the invincibility frame a little bit. So it looks like he's trying to really, it looked like he was trying to really kite him and play the boss instead of just trying to melt him, and it seemed like that might not be the way to go. You might just gotta go in there, power ups blazing.
I remember why I stopped playing on this boss. I killed him, and then I died after I killed him to a shot, and it didn't count. And I was like, okay, well, hopefully they won't do that. I don't need to play test anymore.
That's always very frustrating in any game. When you complete the objective but die to something that's on the screen.
Brody's getting pretty close here to the boss of stage 2 again. So he's got... I'm not quite sure how many lives he's got. Oh my god, he used the ladder and got something. I don't know what that was.
It seems like Brody's possibly figured out the buttons and menus a little more, but
he used like some sort of...
it looks like he's gonna try to really play this boss as well, which might not be a bad idea since he...
I think he did it.
Get it?
Oh god, what did Thomas do? Oh, he used the big bomb as well. I don't think it did anything.
Alright, both players on stage 3. We could have a comeback here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely could, especially with Brody's knowledge of these power-ups, although I think Thomas is getting them as well.
I mean, Brody was stuck so long, I think he really tried to figure out, you know, how to... Not stuck, but he was stuck on that level, so I think he really took time to figure out the menu in hopes that it would help him get past where he was.
Yeah.
It might pay off if he can make a comeback.
It's definitely possible. And Thomas is playing this a little bit more risky, but I think he's already back to the checkpoint. So he's got several tries here at this boss.
So it looks like Brody does not know to climb the tree.
Classic problem.
Yeah, I didn't understand what he was doing for a while, but then I realized.
Thomas used the ladder there, got some sort of eye. He got the eyeball. Oh, that's a shield. That's what that is.
Might be able to do this. Oh, it's a shield.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh!
The clutch boomerang.
Did he do it? He's warping out.
There we go.
Stage 4.
There we go.
Congratulations. We send these players. Some messages. Alright, well, congrats to both of our players here, both Bemusicality and Mezzmerizing. Thank you so much for casting with me, DDRChamp, Andrew.
That was my pleasure.
And overall great match. Fantastic game. I hope those watching enjoyed it. Until next time, stay frisky.